Hello and welcome to Unconventional GMs, the channel where we play tabletop RPGs with pace, vim and vigour. Today we're in 18th century Europe. A twisted wish from a child seeking to create new fairy tales has given the villains of such stories a shot at redemption. It has also twisted the heroes into cruel, evil mockeries of who they once were. We are playing Broken Tales. We're going to be playing through an upside down Little Red Riding Hood mystery. Content warning here. There will be horror here. There will be, Little Red Riding Hood. If you know the story, you might well expect there might be some wolves here coming to cause a bit of trouble. So now Europe is beset by topsy-turvy, shattered fairy tales, and that's where our heroes come in. They've been recruited by Pope Clement XIV to become members of the Order, sent out to investigate, sometimes against their will, supernatural threats. They are beset by their own dark pasts. So, talking of dark pasts, let's meet our players and who they are playing. Starting with my co-host on this, Gaz.
Hi, yep, I'm Gaz. I'm co-host of this and also co-host of What Would the Small Party Do, the UK's premier RPG podcast. Today, I'm playing James the Swordsman, or Amaz, as he introduces himself. He is dressed in fine clothes with puffed slash sleeves, slightly darned and patched together. So he's used to travelling around and being scratched by thorns and beasts, for he is hunted by a ravening beast that hungers for his flesh, having taken one of his hands. And thus it is why this famous duelist has relearned to fight with his left hand, for his right resides in the belly of the beast. He's been many things: sea captain, a lover of fine ladies, all manner of tasks. But his thing right now is to find the boy who betrayed him to the beast all those years ago and have his revenge.
Well, let's hope that beast doesn't show up later in this scenario, on top of all the troubles you'll be facing. And now let's meet Shane. Who are you playing, Shane?
Hi, everybody. I'm Shane, delighted to be back. I am playing the Judge, Baboy the Judge. After years of honourable service as the State Inquisitor of Venice, my body has undergone a strange mutation along with my spirit. Fear is now unknown to me. So I've been called the boogeyman by more than one criminal in the past, for that is the fear of the justice that I represent. So now I've been given a new task by the Order, because even in a fight against darkness, someone needs to judge what is right and wrong. Tall, lean, hard-faced, with a high hat, a cane that contains a blade, and a coat slightly tatty from travels, but once fine. What most stands out in the darkness is the gleam of my eyes.
Amazing, amazing. So let us begin. Once upon a time, 1780 AD to be precise, in France, ferocious beasts beset the village of Durfort in Gavaudan. The nobleman Gerard Dubois, just married to the beautiful Elisabetta, is desperate. Subjects have beseeched him to sort out the strange bestial attacks in the night. He's at his wit's end, so he's written to the papacy requesting the Order's help. And as we see our two protagonists thunder through the French countryside in their coach, we zoom through the window and into the letter that they clutch, probably that Babai clutches. I think you'll have kept this, written in Dubois' trembling hand, saying the beasts that are afflicting Gavaudan are something that moves outside the grace of God. And we see our coach thunder into the distance, farms going this way and that, until we arrive in the village of Durfort. And our scene opens in the palace, if you like, certainly the manor house of Gerard, who has summoned you to get rid of the monsters. He has booked rooms for you at the local tavern in the village, but he's insisted that you join him for dinner so he can explain the problems that he has. He's sat in his dining room. The two of you are there. He's a slightly overweight, but clearly noble-born nobleman. He is just serving you in this sort of small but richly furnished room. Stood by the fireplace is his young and beautiful bride, Elizabeta. She is pouring the drinks around for you as servants bring in sort of platters of meat and wine for you. You also see Vincent, one of the who you've been introduced as Gerard's chief of guards, is also in the room, and a couple from the village as well. Anne and Marcel have been invited to join as well. And Gerard doesn't stand on ceremony as he welcomes you, and immediately gets to talking about the situation. The first two victims of the monsters, they say, Guy and Yvette, two lovers who used to meet secretly in the old cemetery, were the first to be taken a couple of weeks ago. But since then, the attacks come. He's forbidden anyone from leaving the village at night because you can still hear the wolves howl in the forest. So, as he says, so you really think you can deal with this issue? Just the two of you, as he looks a little bit disappointed. How do you respond to this, Amhez?
I stifle a laugh and continue to mess about with it. I've got this it looks at first like it might be a cigarette case or a cigar case or something of burnished silver. But when I open up, it's got my fork attachment that I screw into the socket of my missing hand so that I can enjoy the meal. My left, obviously expert with a blade, can cut meats very delicately, and that's not a problem. I'll compliment Elizabeta effusively on her wine pouring skills and anything else I deem may flatter her even in the slightest and improve my chances of warming her heart. And then eventually, I beg your pardon, just the two of us, of course. I feel between the pair we may be over qualified for such a task. It should be a trivial matter. You needn't worry. I am hunted by a beast of epic proportions with a thirst that is endless. In fact, if anything, I think your village may be in slightly more danger by my mere presence. The wolves, they will be trivial.
There's a few shocked glances between them, and you noticed Anne, the villager, her hand shakes a little as she gets to the wine. Is that a terrible beast, you say? Surely you'll be well equipped to deal with our beasts, then, I would hope. And what of your companion?
I wouldn't even call them beasts, to be honest. They're just slightly larger dogs. We'll be fine, I would think. What do you say, Judge?
I see no concern with one, maybe two beasts concerning the village. No. You can rest assured, my lord, you're in good hands. If the Holy Father felt you needed more, he would have sent more. God provides, after all.
Indeed. Well, let us to eat and see what happens. You will set off at first light to begin your investigations, will you?
First light, I say, looking a little bit, well, taking another goblet of wine quickly. We'll certainly begin thinking about going on our expedition then.
First light is not long after the beast slinks home. If you wish to capture somebody, you take them when they are deep asleep, not light. We'll begin at the right time, my lord, fear not.
Is it a nocturnal beast, or is it one that lurks around in the day? So this is important information. What do we know of it? Are there tracks? Should we perhaps head to the cemetery first to find out if there's any physical evidence?
And at that, Vincent sort of coughs and steps forward. The chief of guards, he's got still holding a sort of halberd, standing guard at the edge, slightly awkwardly, as everyone else seems to, and says, "It does. We have seen tracks in the forests. You will hear the howls soon enough. I have sent some men after it, but they have not returned. But yes, the cemetery would be a good place to start. I can escort you to the inn after your repast here."
And tell me, does this beast enter into people's homes, or is it only those foolish enough to go wandering about in the night or the day that gets attacked?
It has so far only attacked those outside, but we hear it howling. It is only a matter of time, I'm sure, until it attacks the village itself.
Well, we should be having none of that.
Go on. I would very much like to use one of my abilities, please. The
Go
eye
ahead.
of the judge.
Yeah.
Once per scene, when I meet a group of NPCs, such as these fellows and ladies before us, I will immediately understand who is the most and least capable, and also the storyteller will kindly reveal to me if there are relationships such as love, hate, fidelity, etc., between two NPCs of my choice. And I would like to know the nature of the relationship between the Lord and the Guard, and who is the most and least capable. Please.
So I think you get who's the most capable in the scene, don't you?
Well,
that
of
what
the
you said?
NPCs, is my understanding. But
Yeah. Not counting yourselves there.
yes,
The
because
most
clearly it's us.
yes, the most capable in the scene is Elizabeta,
Mm, okay,
bride who has so far been silent. And the relationship between the Lord and the Guard. I think the Lord is very grateful for the Guard, and the Guard
great,
is loyal to the family, but he
brilliant.
also there's some resentment there, that the Lord is a little incompetent, you feel, and the Guard is a little bit comfortable. He knows how to keep on the right side of him, to
Sure,
do that.
thank you.
And I think with that, sorry, go on.
Sorry, who's the least capable
Oh, the least capable.
as well? Yes, that's
Uh,
input.
I'm afraid that is indeed Gerard.
I believed so. Thank you.
I think as you notice this, as you inspect the scene and stuff, you also notice that there are many pictures up around here, as it would be in a nobleman's house, which you initially thought were Gerard, but they are not. As you look a little closer, and Hammers, you probably noticed this as well, they are in fact of a thinner, more muscular man, an older man, who you would suppose to be his father. There are no paintings or portraits of Gerard here.
Interesting.
So, I mean, the meal will pass, and then sort of there's some time to chat and make small talk as you would in such things. Anne and Marcel, the two villagers, are there as well, and you can speak to them then. There'll also be an opportunity, obviously, to take you to the tavern. The guard, Vincent, Anne, and Marcel will walk you back to the tavern to show you the way as well. So there's an opportunity to talk and maybe dig a little deeper into any of these NPCs.
Sure.
James, who would you try and maybe target to find out maybe a little bit more?
I want to speak to Elizabeta, actually. I'll find an opportunity when the Lord's heading off to find an especially fine vintage. I'll spend a lot of time talking about all the fine wines I've had and how it's a shame that he doesn't have anything to compare with these.
Oh,
when
have
he
something
storms off
downstairs, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when he runs off to her, when I'll warm his chair to speak to his wife and ask for her appraisal of what's going on. You seem quite young to be with an older man. Is he giving you all you should need? Does the village? I mean, not you personally, obviously. That would be far too rude a question to ask, and I'll waggle my eyebrows.
Well, I think we're going to have, not to preempt anything, we're going to have our first dice roll here, because she is going to attempt to make pleasant small talk and not reveal anything. Be the most polite sort of bride and play this role. If you want to get any interesting information out of her or to judge what she is, you're going to have to. Well, it's not necessarily a dice roll in this system. I think this is probably difficulty easy, so you're going to start at a base difficulty of 3. You will need 3 successes. The first thing that we need to do is check whether you've got a descriptor that might aid you. And if you do, you'll start with 3 successes already.
Yeah, I possess fine manners, which they considers me an excellent candidate to move among high society. So I think that's most appropriate.
Okay, yeah. So you start with 3 successes. So if you want to, you can just leave it at that and get a success with consequence. So something bad will happen, but you will find out some stuff from that. You could try and get an extra success to get a full success, or get an extra 2 in order to get a success with some extra bonus as well. And to do that, you can either spend soma points, or you can choose to roll dice, or as many dice as you want. But if any of them come up a 1, you will fail. So what do you want to do, Gaz?
I'm going to risk it for a biscuit, as they say in England when I was visiting there.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll 2 dice then to see if I can get
success
the extra
with
benefit.
an increment. Okay, go ahead and roll your 2d6.
And I don't get any ones, so that's wonderful.
You have indeed got success with an increment. Okay, so she continues making small talk, but she does let slip a little bit about her life. You think she has travelled, you realise she's travelled a long way, all the way from Volhynia, which is several days travelled by road through the countryside. And she, you get the impression that she has really led quite an active life, if you see what I mean. You would even, Hammers, surmise that she maybe took many lovers before she settled down with Gerard, and is clearly in it for his money, and potentially not in it for the long term, if you see what I mean. But yeah, she has travelled. She's well travelled. She's clearly of not just noble blood, but she's quite enlightened. She knows poetry from all over Europe. She's there's a lot more to her.
Okay, game recognises game, so I'll thoroughly enjoy myself. A game that was supposed to be finding out about the beast, and just have witty repartee with this lady for as long as I can get away with it before the judge corrals me back on track.
Excellent. And your increment, you're going to have +1 successes if you want to deal with Elizabeta in the future, because you have won a little bit of trust, and she's maybe even thinking about whether with the Lord's back is turned, whether this swordsman could offer her some entertainment here after the beast is dealt with.
Yeah, of course.
Bye-bye, the judge. What's your plans?
I would like to try and talk to the two villagers that are here, Anna Marcel. Just sort of discreetly, I am practically but shadow myself, so I will be in a shadowy corner at one point as they attempt to retreat away from their betters, as no doubt they will.
Yes, and I think you can overhear what they're doing. Again, we're going to ask for a roll here, position check. So this is easy. So it's going to start with 3 successes. Are you talking to them? Or are you trying to just overhear and get some measure of what they are? And what do you have a script that works?
Yes, I do. So I am good at understanding, evaluating, and grasping every hidden detail, which is why I'm a judge. So I think having sat in a courtroom many times and other people lay out their case, I very rarely ask their questions. So I'm going to be just discreetly, as they're taking comfort near the fire as the cold comes in. I'm in a place sort of where shadow is made around the side of the fireplace, listening. And if necessary, I'll step in with a prompt or a question, depending on what they say.
Amazing. So you're starting with 3 successes. That would be a success at a cost, though, if you get that. Do you want to roll dice or spend 7?
I'm going to roll 2 as well. I can't be outdone by the swardsman. So I'm going to roll 2 1s because apparently, the only thing I'm not a judge of is the odds. Yep. Okay.
I guess that's the first time people have been outdone by the swordsman, I have to tell you.
Yes. Pride is a sin.
So you overhear nothing of any consequence from them, and indeed I think you see the guard Vincent watching you carefully, just looking. You glance over and see that he's wondering why you are listening to them, and maybe even comes over and strikes up a conversation which you ignore as you're just trying to listen to the small talk of the villagers. Judge, it's time to go now. It is getting late.
Ah, yes. I forget your early bedtimes in the country.
Yeah, and indeed you are then sort of escorted back to the inn. Is there anything else you're wanting to do in the evening, or do we cut back to the morning with the old cemetery?
While we're walking back, I wouldn't mind just asking Vincent the guard generally what he knows of the beasts and who is it taken, how skilled were they, where were they taken, actual kind of stuff.
So yeah, he gives you some. There have been several attacks over the last few weeks. You hear as you're walking back the howling of wolves in the village, and he says the villagers say they come ever closer, but there's no truth in that. And he glances at the 2 villagers who are walking with you. People have been taken during the day, at night. It is not safe to travel in the woods anymore. My men, I do not send my men out to patrol, for if I were to lose them, that would be foolish. We've sent for you to deal with them now. I'm sure such a capable swordsman as your companion will be able to deal with them, as you said, though.
Yes. Remain safe here. We do not crave safety as you do.
Quite. Hammers, are you doing anything on the walk back? Have you got another evening plan?
Yeah. So we've got the villagers who've scootled off. We've got a guard. Was there anyone else that I've missed?
No, Gerard and Elizabeth stay back in, obviously, there.
Of course, yeah. So I want to speak to the guard as well. So, I mean, it starts off as me trying to work out what the guard schedules are. So, should I need to get into the manor house at a particular time for whatever reason might be necessary? But I'm going to start quizzing him about the capability of his men. He says he's sent some men and they've not come back, but has he really? You know, are the men of good quality, or is, Gerard a spendthrift and he's just hired a miller and a butcher to hold a pitchfork and called them guards? Or so, is he basically trying to gather, like, has the noble made a real effort, or is he just making a show of it and hoping someone else will sort his problems out, that kind of thing?
Okay, I mean, I think we might let it roll from before, when you sort of won their trust a little bit, rather than need to check again. You sense he's made a cursory effort to do it, but the priority has been protecting the village and especially his men and his reputation. He talks about how patrols have been launched and do that, but they have not found anything. You suspect that's maybe because where they've been told to patrol is deliberately so they don't find anything and come into any danger. You notice as he's walking, like, he gets a bit out of breath. He's a bit portly. He's onto a good thing, really, guarding this village up until this has happened.
Until something actually needs sorting out, and now he's starting to regret his life choices. That's fair enough.
Okay. So, if you're okay with that, let's cut to the morning, or whenever you venture to the cemetery. That seem about right? So, the old cemetery is just over 10 minutes walk from the village. It is now pretty much totally abandoned. You don't see anyone on the way. With the constant threats of attack, you think that this hasn't been visited in some time. And notably, there's a real absence of any guards, boot prints, as you established last night, that have been coming here. As you open the creaky, sort of rusty gate, you can see many weathered gravestones, a small sort of tumble down church that is abandoned. There's no sign of anyone in there, and an old well. As you look to it, the wooden planks that were used to board it up have recently, you surmise, been dismantled. So, what's your approach here? Just before you do that, I just need to roll a d6 to see what potentially. But no, carry on. That will come in later.
Well, I've learned to face monsters and aberrations without being intimidated. So, not only that, but a beast is on my trail, so I'm used to trails and trying to hide them or not. So I'm going to immediately start ranging around, trying to find out where something came and grabbed two lovers and ran off with them, or that kind of thing, or any of the signs that it may have returned since then. Maybe it's a favoured hunting ground of the beast or something like that.
Okay, and as you range around, you sense something in the air, and soon there's a sort of animal smell comes around here. Bahai, you will notice this. Babai, you will notice this as well. And this cemetery sits at the edge of the old forest from there, and as you both sort of pause at once, you hear a sort of soft howl, and plunging out of the forest come 8 black wolves, running towards you, intent on attack. Babai, I'm going to let you maybe react first to them, because you were on the lookout for them. What do you do to try and... They're clearly going to attack you. What do you do to try and drive them off?
Well, the sun is up, and as somebody made mostly partly of shadow, I am uncomfortable in the sun. So I've probably retreated to the shadow of a tomb or something like that. So I sort of see them coming across. And I know that beasts, if you can startle them sometimes. So I'm going to pick up something like a hefty rock and wing it into the flanks of the first one in an attempt to startle it. And if it turns away, the pack may follow.
Amazing, amazing. So these are the opposition level for these wolves is 3. So you need to get 3 successes to get a success at a cost. You are, however, because they're in a pack, you're at a penalty. So you are at -1 successes in here. Do you have a descriptor that would help with that?
I'm afraid I do not.
You're starting
Okay.
at 0.
That's cool. And I need 4 effectively to
Yeah.
succeed with a cost and 5 to succeed without.
Yeah.
6 dice. Let's do it.
Go for it.
No, that's my
No ones.
There we go.
Amazing. Do you want to narrate how you because you're going to actually take out one of the wolves with this, and cause a bit of panic in it. So go ahead. What happens?
Yeah. So I step out, wincing with the discomfort of the sun slightly, and the thin frame belies a powerful sort of musculature. So this rock flies fast and true, and instead of hitting the flank of the wolf, the first wolf cracks into the head of the one following. So and is it dead? Is it stunned? It matters not. It goes down, tumbles, but its colleagues jump over it, but still follow the pack leader.
Yeah, they jump over and move towards you, Hammers. They are a little bit out of sync, though. You notice a couple of them looking back. They were not expecting so sudden an assault. So you are going to get +1 success, which is going to from that increment, but that's going to overcome the pack tactics they've got. What are you going to do, Hammers, to try and drive these wolves off?
Is it what I'm going to do, or is it that other sound? That other. The wolves are not bothering me, and I'm like at first. Maybe the judge thinks I've become like got 1,000-yard stare. I'm staring at like above and beyond them. Maybe I'm terrified. What is it? And it's that I'm looking beyond at the beast that hungers for my flesh, which is coming lumbering out of the darkness. And it starts rending its way through the wolves to get to me as I swiftly dance about, trying to reposition at this new and vile threat.
Amazing. So how what does your beast look like, first of all? As we're having it coming out of the woods behind the wolves, are we? So it's going to get through them. What does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's as different to a wolf as a wolf is to a human. It's even more monstrous. Its jaws are distended and gnashing. The teeth are like blades. It's covered in moss and dead things, and it's almost like it's pulling things out of the cemetery with it as it comes. It just seems to appear out of the blackness rather than out of the woods themselves.
And I think with that, that is the wolves now scatter, leaving their stunned companion there as the beast leaps towards you, Gaz. You've dealt with the wolves, but you need to somehow deal with this. You're going to have to make a defense check now as the beast leaps on you. That is difficulty hard, so you're going to need 7 successes. You get 2 additional successes though, because you fought it many times before. I'll even let you get. No, I don't think you can get the extra success to wolves. Sorry, I was going to be generous there. You just get your 2 additional successes.
Decided not to.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Having an advantage against the wolves isn't going to help your massive wolf, your massive beast fight here. What are you going to do, Gaz? Have you got a descriptor that's relevant?
If I haven't, I've done this very wrong, haven't I? I've learned to face monsters and aberrations.
The descriptor that's about the beast, will probably apply here. So you're starting on 5 successes with your +2?
Yes. And I need to get to 7 at least, but possibly more. What I'll do is I will spend 2 soma, and then also take a risk of rolling 1 die and see what happens, which may bring it all crashing down. So let's roll that and see. No ones. Amazing. So I get a total of 8.
So you managed to evade the wolves' attack. Do you want to just describe how you do that?
Yes,
I
run
attack,
with
not the wolves. The wolves are long gone now. Yeah.
Well, it is the wolves indeed that saved me, because one of the ones that's lagging at the back is the one I managed to snatch up, and as the beast comes to devour, I hurl the wolf in its jaws, and it gets stuck in the beast's throat as it hacks and coughs, and I spit out the furry animal, which gives me time to leap over a nearby mausoleum and hide behind the mossy rocks.
Yeah, I think that works. So you leap and hide, Bye-bye, you see this beast rend this wolf apart and then look up, look around, searching as maybe you've seen it do before for James, for Hammers, but on not seeing him, begins to slink away, the wolf still in its jaws, back towards the forest, as it does indeed leave the scene when you are out of sight, fortunately. And you're left in the cemetery again. As you pause to catch your breath, you can see that the wolves have left a trail when they came to attack you that leads deeper into the forest. You also, I think, as you sort of manipulate and look around, and particularly Judge, as you look into the shadows, there's a little glint of something in the well, as if something's something shiny at the foot of it.
Well, in which case, I would, as I am like a shadow, I would like to spend one soma to manipulate the shadows deep in the well to acquire a small object, as long as I can see it.
Amazing, yeah. So you put your hand into the shadow of a gravestone, maybe, and reach into the shadow in the well, and you pull out this pendant. It's made of polished rock, enough to reflect the light, even the sun's light here. Quite crudely constructed, carved in the shape, carved or chiseled in the shape of a heart. It's on a simple sort of just rough string,
a thong of some sort.
And it is it has some mud still on it, if it had been flung into this dry well. And it
does it look occult in its stylings, or just crude peasant jewelry?
Crude peasant jewelry. It's got some sort of shapes on it. As you turn it around, you notice that it wasn't obvious because it's been so roughly done, but it's like there's a letter E sort of carved into it, very roughly.
Interesting. I will proffer it out to James. Hammers. Proffer it out to Hammers. Who would cast this aside unless their heart was broken?
I love as trinkets. I have seen many of these in my time, although usually of more fabulous wealth. Well, an E. They're very interesting. We've met one lady already, Elizabeta, with an E, but also
went
there is Yvette, who was the lover of Guy, if we are to believe our stories.
Indeed.
Is there perhaps there's something to something that's caused by a spurned lover? Perhaps this is an attempt to keep it safe by holding it down the well.
It raises more questions than answers, and that vexes me.
I think we need an expedition to the woods quite soon.
We do.
Perhaps we might speak to the villagers again to see if there's any superstitions.
And whose necklace this is. But they were here, and what might they have seen or done, but seen most likely.
Yes, let's get them to admit to what they've known. There's bound to have been some voyeur looking from nearby, observing two lovers and the heat of their passions. And I'll sort of look off wistfully with memories.
I shall take your word for it. I have no experience of such things.
Okay, so a couple of options. Back to the village to talk to the villagers, or follow the tracks into the wood. Which are you going for? Those seem to be the two paths opening up.
I feel information is the weapon we are not yet drawn from its scabbard. Back to the village?
If you wish. You know me. I would follow the wolves as they will run back to their master eagerly. So now would seem a good time. Whether it will be a trivial matter to do it later, for there were many of them.
I shall defer to your greater expertise with beasts. Lead on.
Very well. The woods, I say, and brush off the bits of bramble and stuff that I got from behind the gravestone I was hiding behind.
You were not hiding, Hammers. You were taking a tactical position, ready to strike. At least that's what your legend will say.
Yes, very good.
Okay, so you set off on the wolves' trail into the forest. So you are able to follow the tracks. They go far, but they're easy to track really where they are, and they wind around. After a few hours in the forest, you pause as you hear sounds up ahead. Another group of humans are wandering in the forest at night. Not at night, it's during the day, still the afternoon. So you're able to sort of look a little bit further, and you see a group of 6 men wearing sort of cobbled together armor and arms. They are armed though. One who's clearly the leader has a sort of helm on, a pack, and has a sword at his side, and he is navigating and appearing to go. And you hear him say that the village is that way. We should be able to skirt around. I heard there was an old graveyard near here. We may be able to rest, and then we can go in and get supplies. And they look a little bit further. You'd place these maybe as mercenaries, bandits. Certainly not from the village. At the moment, they haven't seen you though. So you want to interact with them? Do you want to ignore them and carry on?
I would interact with them, but I'll just take a sideways glance at my companion to see if he's going to hold me back or otherwise have ideas.
No, you go ahead. I will hang back in the shadow of the trees to make my appearance when it is appropriate.
Very well. In that case, I shall rough myself up a little bit and undo my cravat slightly and that kind of thing, and then pull out a good wineskin, recently filled with the best of Gerard's vignettes, whatever. Empty out the bottle from last night, and I'll come swaggering up, taking a big gulp of wine. You know, gentlemen, I thought I'd never catch up with you.
And there's a pregnant pause as they sort of look to you, go to their swords, and halt. Who goes there? It almost feels as if your attempt to win them over might require a check.
Yeah, and that's when I'll reach into my bag, which causes the nervousness, and then hurl across the roasted capon I stole from the dinner table last night. So I brought snacks, and then we'll see if I can win them over, because I love indulging in good food and dissolute company. So
excellent.
Well, this is my wineskin around.
This is an easy check, so 3 successes is what you need for success at cost. You've got 3 from that descriptor. You want to get any more to get a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to spend the Soma just so it's just a straight up success, I think.
Okay, amazing. So, the leader, Joseph, looks a little bit surprised by this and like stands back as you throw the cape on, but immediately 3 of his followers start devouring the chicken and like, oh, it's so good to have food. This is what we want in the village, isn't it? And he looks back and says, well met, traveller, and puts his sword in. You don't look like you're trying to rob us. You are not a bandit, are you? We've heard there are some in these woods. He looks around knowingly.
Yeah, I said, oh, thank goodness neither of us came across some bandits in these woods. More of a cheese man, I see, and I'll reach into my other pocket and pull out a nice wedge of Stilton or something.
He says, oh, excellent. And he says, we've travelled a long way. We're trying to just scout out this area. It's been a long journey from Valinia that we have made here. We thought we'd explore the village, but I don't want to get too close. He leans in conspiratorially and says, I have an old flame there who I wish to see, but I had better be discreet with her. She moves in higher places now.
Yes. I say, by gum, this is indeed, yeah, something to be careful of. I don't know whether you've travelled here much, but not only are these woods infested by wolves and other such creatures, worse than them, there's the guards of Gerard. Oh my word, I'd heard they would be easy pickings, but you won't believe it. I visited Rounds yesterday, and he has got some elite veterans from the Intercontinental Wars up north.
I had better be careful.
Yeah, so there's few things to recommend Gerard, but his wealth and ability to hire excellent swordsmen and others to defend what's his are beyond compare. Thank goodness you're going nowhere near the manor house and the Lord or Lady there, because that'd be the worst place you could possibly go to.
Oh, certainly. I would not seek to disturb Gerard or his guards. It does not surprise me that he recruits such strong guards, as he does have excellent taste in wives as well. Does he not?
The best, I hear. Yes.
I think we understand each other, he says, and he leans in conspiratorially. I shall leave my men outside to camp and get myself in to have a word with the person that I've come to meet.
Yes,
But I'd better be
subtlety and
discreet.
guile. Yes, that's it. Much better than force. Better to go on your own and keep it quiet.
And he says, yes, and we've heard of wolves in this world. Wolves and a girl, too. Have you seen the little girl? My men thought it was a spirit or something. I cannot explain it quite myself.
Oh, no. And I have not, but I shall keep my eyes out.
A girl of maybe 13, 14, in a red hood. We sighted her by the glade and followed to see what was happening, but surely some sort of curse. Then the wolves came and we had to fight them off.
Ah, yes. Well, wolves, thankfully, we can fight off. And I'll start speaking louder and leaning out a bit more so he's Mengen here. What's worse than the girl I've had is the necromancer, a huge, tall, silent man with a large hat. When he appears, death follows with him. He cannot be killed. I've seen a pike stuck through his chest and he survives still. Well, if he was to appear at any point, I'll look round. Why, I would flee for my life.
Okay. So I would like to give myself a wound because this plays right into my dark ego.
Yeah.
So hearing my boon companion make such light of my important role of a judge leaves me infuriated. Would you accept that as a wound?
I think so, yeah. Infuriated works, yeah. So you take it.
Yeah. But I understand what he's getting at. And I would like to use my dark ego. If you don't stop, I'll call the boogeyman. And as I am the sinuous shadow that can reach anywhere, I can arrive at any location, covering any distance, overcoming any obstacle, as long as somebody calls me by name, or I would argue by close description.
Yeah.
So I basically will appear amongst them, just stood tall, both hands on my cane, and being almost of shadow. They can barely make out my faces. So everybody who witnesses it will be frightened and not act against me unless I threaten them first. I may need a position check for anybody particularly powerful.
These are not particularly powerful, really. The bandits scrabble away, dropping chicken legs and cheese to the mossy ground. They are scrabbling, and you hear whispered shouts of the necromancer, the necromancer. It must be him. It must be him. As they look this way and that, and look to flee.
You will be judged, I will say in a deep voice. I'm attempting to intimidate them away.
Amazing. I think let's put a position check into this, because Joseph actually isn't as weak as those. And what's at stake here is you might find some more stuff out by doing this here. So again, I think it's going to be easy. I think we've established in the fiction it's be quite easy to intimidate them. It's quite scary. And I'm going to give you a bonus as well because of the setup that you had from James. So you're starting on 4 successes, assuming you've got a descriptor, which you have.
I do. And my dark ego gives me an additional success. Oh no, sorry, I misread it. Ignore me. Carry on.
So yeah, you're at 4 already. You need 3 to succeed at a cost. You're going to push it and get the.
I'll go for 1 for just to make it even more intimidating. I'll say, "You'll be judged. Speak your defense," or something like that. And I've got no 1s, so all good. I just stare at them as if I'm staring into their very soul, touching the fear dwelling deep within their hearts.
And they are terrified. And Joseph, the leader, has a moment of clarity and blurts something out. He says, "The girl Elisabetta, she left a girl back in Volina. She took a girl with her. I must find her. Her own daughter."
I'm just going to continue to stare at him.
She disappeared and then she left. We must know the truth. We must know the truth. Why we've come here. We only take what we need. But and at this point, I think this is the point where there's a howl in the background, and they do make properly flee and rabble off if you let them.
Yeah, I was considering other options, but it does seem like he's generally just not that much of a baddie, so I shall let them flee. I sort of like start running with them, but a bit slower to just encourage them to start fleeing, and then I can
They need
slot or walk and come back again.
they need a little extra encouragement as they flee, and you are left. Soon you are left alone in the forest once more.
Yeah. I'll smile grimly. Bandits passing themselves off as good men. I would string them up given the chance.
Yes, that's your solution to most things, though, my friend. So we can hear the howls of the wolves, and we suspect, perhaps, if I have understood correctly, you're the scholar amongst us, that the new bride of Gerard has perhaps brought a daughter here, and she's become spirit or something. Perhaps she died. Perhaps something happened to her. She transformed.
Perhaps
Is
she
that
was
what this is?
abandoned to take up a comfortable bridal bed. Who knows?
Should we follow the sound of the wolves to find more of the beasts, and perhaps this little girl in the forest?
All roads lead to the lupine here.
Very well, then.
Indeed. So you follow the tracks further into the forest, but soon you come to a glade, small green area. That obviously that's what a glade is. A small green area where the light comes through the forest, and it suddenly the oppressiveness, the wolves howling is not. You can't hear it here. Step in, you can see sort of meadow flowers area as you forward. You can see that there's a small pond in the center of it, and look around. You can see there are wolf tracks around here, padding and so on, but also boot prints, small boot prints.
Small boots.
Those of a girl.
I shall stride into this glade. Shout out to I might shout Yvette. I don't know whether we're on the run. It's close enough. Elizaveta, and I'll start listing off all the women's names of E, beginning with E that I know, which is extensive given my background. I'll just be wandering around the glade because I don't doubt myself.
Come out, child. I mean you no harm.
As you both walk around the glade, I am going to need a defense check from both of you. It's so relaxing here, and you suddenly feel the heavy food of last night feels a long time ago. You haven't really stopped here. You've fought wolves. You've encountered the beast. You feel that maybe taking a nap here, just lying down in the moss, which seems like warm almost, not even dry, would be maybe the best thing for you to do. And I'm going to be really mean as well. I'm going to make you just make one check to resist falling asleep by this fairy magic for both of you, because obviously if one of you falls asleep, that's not much of a consequence. So probably this is for people attuned to magic. I wonder, either of you can roll if you want. You're going to get if you've got a descriptor that means you might be resistant to the fairy magic, what you would need.
Well, I'm cold and methodical and cannot stand when plans change. And we did not have the plan of taking a nap, is my closest offer.
Okay, you roll by then. This can be medium, so you need to get 5 successes.
So 3 for the descriptor. I will bang out 2 soma and roll 1 die. The dice is a 6, and I've spent the 2 soma, so I'll as I see Hemez sort of, if either of us would give in to this, it's him. He likes his rest as much as he likes his excitement, and I'll prod him with the top of my cane sharply across his remaining knuckles. Hemez, resist it.
But I've been day drinking again. You shouldn't have let me start on the wine so early.
And you do briefly, Hammers. Your eyes close and you doze before you are rudely awoken by the judge. Probably not the first time this exact scene has played out somewhere.
Yeah.
At least here, there's like a magical effect that you can blame for it. It's not just
Yeah.
not just falling asleep after a lot of wine. You have, sorry, let me get the right bit of paper for this. You have a moment where your eyes sort of fall and you open them again. Dreams. It's like you're back in the glade, and you can see a young girl in red hood, red traveling gear, red boots, in the glade. She's running in. She's shouting, "Mama, Mama! I can't find grandmother's house. Mama, I can't find it. Where will it be?" And then you see her sit down and hear the howl of wolves coming ever closer. And then a sharp rap of a cane wakes you up, brings you back to reality.
I shall describe this vision to the judge. Oh,
Curious.
blimey. It seems maybe there's something in it. Maybe it wasn't just a dream, perhaps. But there is a house in these woods that we could find.
Well, you are a skilled tracker. Follow these small boot prints.
Oh, that's a good idea, I say. Having already started looking for the wolf tracks again.
Yeah. Okay, and you can indeed begin following the boot prints. Having taken your momentary repast in that scene, I think we can probably count that as an interlude as well. So you can recover 2 soma or 1 wound. It's up to you. And I think we'll have an interlude here as well. So, all right, we're going to have a short break. We'll edit it down, so it's just a few seconds for viewers at home. But we'll see you back shortly. Welcome back. Our protagonists have found probably more questions than answers about what's going on in the village of Durfour now. Deep in the woods they are. They've heard rumours of a child abandoned. Rumours that Elisabetta may have a dark past back in Volhynia, and have a terrifying appearance by the judge has sent some bandits packing. Howls of wolves are nearby, and they were, I believe, following the wolf tracks as we last left them.
Yeah.
We were, and then decided to follow the boot tracks instead because they found some little boots.
Well, I mean, interestingly, as Hammer's expert tracker, you follow them, you find they're sort of going in the same direction, and the boots and the boots and the paws of the wolves are sort of intermingled, as if they were traveling. It's almost as if they're from similar times as well. It's almost as if they're traveling together.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's not like this long strides of being chased or anything. It's more like they're journeying to sea.
No, you do notice as well that one set of these wolf tracks is significantly bigger than the rest.
Yeah.
It's you might estimate as you like pull out a measuring stick and do some calculations. This is a wolf maybe the size of a horse or so. And those are the tracks that seem to be near the little boots of the girl you're finding. Probably fine. But you will come eventually to a large natural cave. You can see the tracks lead into there, and within it, as you step in, and usually perhaps it's getting dark now. It's like you've travelled most of the day through the woods and at a moment where Hammers you fell asleep for a moment. So it's actually getting to dusk and darkness. Interestingly, in this cave with the wolves, there are torches set in some of the rooms here. But definite signs of wolf habitation, if you like.
Curious.
Do you go in?
Have you met Tamez?
We came all this way. We cannot leave the job unfinished. I'm starting to bleed.
Nothing can surprise me anymore.
I'm starting to believe the girl may be the danger rather than in the danger.
Definitely intimately involved with the danger in one way or the other. I shall stride forth.
Okay, and you venture into the caves. This is a network of passages that you can find that go back on each other. There's a strong smell of wolves here. This is clearly where they lay, but as you go in, obviously the tracks disappear, and you are forced to switch back and try and not get lost in these caves. To explore it, I think we're going to have a position check from you, Hamez, assuming you're leading the way, to see if you can find
I
out
would think so.
safely what you are finding. There's no sign of any wolves here. You haven't heard any howls for quite some time, actually, as you've been going here, and it's eerily quiet in these caves. So, do you want to make a position check, try and navigate the caves and find out what you can?
Yeah, for sure. I'm out of the world, and nothing really surprises me anymore. So I can deal with dead drops or switchbacks, whatever else might be in these caves. And I never question myself. I have a strong sense of direction, so I'm just going to boldly stride in the obvious direction I should travel.
Amazing, amazing. This is going to be a medium task, so it's going to be 5 difficulty.
Sure. So I've got 3 because of my descriptors. I'm the best at what I do, and finding young ladies is definitely one of my things that I do. So I need to get quite a few more on it. Let's spend 2 soma to bring me up to 5, and then I'll roll 2d6 to try and get no consequences on the extra bit. Right.
Yeah.
And I get a 1 as a failure.
You fail. So, Hamez, you I think how I'm going to interpret this failure is that you somehow, as you stride forward, you're going to get separated from Babai. You're reaching forward, you go into some of the darker areas here. Babai, you're looking around in these shadows, but you've lost sight of Hamez soon. Hamez, you come to a dead end, and you just hear the first sounds that you've heard, some sort of snuffling and of moans of pain. As you go there, you see a man tied to the wall in rough ropes. He looks up, terrified at you as you approach. He has just to his side, he's got the remains of a guard's helmet. He says, "Well, you've got to, you've got to help me. I've got to get home before they eat me."
You find yourself in a terrible compromising position. Don't worry, I shall tell no one. How on earth have you handed ear chained to this wall?
Just they came to me in the forest. A wolf on the size of a horse, but then they were going to eat me. But the girl said no.
A girl told a wolf not to eat you?
I think it was a girl. She wore a mask, a wooden mask. And they took me here. Tries to talk to me, but I can't help her. Ask me what's happening at the village. And you see him look. There's a bit of guilt goes across his face. He says, "I said she'd let me go after if I told her the truth. I told her how to get into the palace, and well, I know the guard rotas and so on. So I was loyal to my lord, but you can see in his gestures that they were going to eat me. I've been in here days."
Very well. Days? Oh, you must be gasping for some wine. And I'll give him a nice, generous drink of heavy red, which probably dehydrate him more, but I'm not aware of
Goes up there, look, see his head swimming as he he has got a bowl of water next to him. He's not been kept completely without them.
So I'll get him to relate to me everything that he said while I work on these chains and get him freed.
Indeed you do. And as you are doing that, he tells you he was kidnapped there. It appears that the inhabitants of these caves are not only a pack of vicious black wolves, but also one huge wolf who seems to be allied with this girl in the red hood that's there. and they are the pack leaders here, the two of them. As he drinks more of the wine, his story becomes more and more addled. But he also says, they were planning something. I think they might have gone. They said they'd need to get there tonight.
Oh, good gracious! Right, you must find my friend Bye-bye and then be out of here. Come on, then you. And I'll sort of like try and drag him with me.
He like staggers around. Bye-bye. Meanwhile, you have you turn one way as James turns another. You end up different room. This room looks a little bit like the bedroom of a little girl if it was created solely from things that were found and sort of scavenged from the offshoots of the village. You can see there's a little sort of bed made from a discarded mattress. There's some tools to carve things and some shiny rocks there. There's drawings that have been sketched on the wall of the cave that, as you look in with your like shadowy eyes, they seem to be of a mother and a daughter holding hands. As you look a little bit closer, you see these have been drawn with blood on the walls.
Oh, good. I'm going to look around, see if there's anything that would connect that pendant to this place, to see if it belonged to, say, the little girl or to her mother. Anything of a similar style, anything that might be hidden.
Yeah, I'm going to make you take a position check here, actually, because there is some magic at work here. To see if you can. Do you have a descriptor that sorts out sort of sensitivity to magic? This is just going to be an easy check, so you just need 3 successes.
I mean, I'm good at understanding evaluation and grasping detail. If that would,
I think that would work. Yeah, I think that would work because you can remember the pendant. So you're starting with 3 successes.
Yeah, I shall spend a soma and forego the roll.
Amazing. So you see, as you assume the pendant was just in whoever took it, so you can have it out.
Yeah,
and you can see there are other shiny rocks just like it. This is the same sort of craftsmanship, the same materials there. And you get as you look at the carvings, you get an overwhelming sense of grief and loss, and a desire for revenge. And as you glance up at the drawing, it does seem as if first of all, these are quite crudely drawn, but even within that, the mother looks a lot like Elizabeta.
Yeah.
The girl is wearing a hood and has a wooden mask on as well, which is unusual. And there's maybe a flash where you see in life, and you hear, as James heard, that Mama, I can't find grandmother's house. I can't find it. Where are you? And running, and a sense of panic, and then you flash back to the.
I am beginning to wonder if a mother abandoned her child with a lie of a house. I would sort of knock my cane on the floor in annoyance at how a child could be treated like this. And wheel on my foot to talk to James and realize we have become separated. Where is that infuriating man? And I shall begin to call his name as I wander the tunnels.
Okay, they echo this way and that. So, James, you hear these names, but it is not where you can see. You go into one room just full of bones, full of the refuse of these pack of wolves. The one thing you do not find is any sign of wolves. Although the smell is here, they were here recently. Let's just make a roll to sort of combine together and find the next sort of step. James, are you trying to follow? Maybe you make it because you're trying to follow Bye-bye's cries. Difficulty 3.
Yeah. So I love indulging in dissolute company. So I'm a great believer if I get this guardsman drunk enough, he'll remember how he was dragged in here and be able to work his way back out again. So I'm basically using him. It combined with singing lots of raucous songs because that'll like locate us further by if he's wandering around trying to find out where we are. We'll be just singing some drunken songs from Valenia or something like that.
That sounds legit. Yeah. So you've got starting with 3 successes.
Yeah. So I need to basically get a 4, don't I? So I'm just going to spend the summer to ensure that we get together and can carry on nicely with the adventure.
Okay. And eventually, the 3 of you now are reunited together. You come to what appears to be a sort of central cave. It's clear that wolves have been here recently. There's half-gnawed meat there. The remains of a fire that's still a little warm. And a passageway leads out. And the guard says, that's where they're going. I heard her talk of it. It leads back to the village. And as you look, you can see there's like bits of fur and stuff, as if the wolves all rushed down here recently. They said they were going to sort it finally once and for all before. And he looks up and he realizes that he has indeed betrayed his master. Says, oh, we'll be too late. Maybe we should leave. We could go back, and there are other villagers. We could. They'll be there now. We don't need to rush back, do we? Do we?
Coward and betrayer, I name you. Do your duty, and I'll crack my cane on the floor again. It's that sharp crack of the metal shodding.
Once again, we see the sign of a man trapped between 2 forms of cowardice. He's really not sure which way to go. It does seem as if the wolf pack and the girl have hurried this way back towards the village. Maybe you are too late. What is your plan?
To rush with all alacrity.
We must make haste.
Yeah, well, we'll probably leave the guard behind, I think.
I want him to come with us. He needs to make amends.
For a moment, I thought you were going to tie him back up there.
Yeah. But by we, I mean I run off.
Yeah, I'll give the guard a hefty shove ahead of me, channeling as much kind of shadowy darkness into my eyes as I can, and asking if he'd rather be judged by God or by me now.
He begins to run after Hannes with
Good.
all alacrity.
Good. See, alacrity, you're inspiring him.
And yeah, you are able to. You're going to rush back to try and get to the village before you're too late. I think this is definitely a position check. So I'm going to give it medium difficulty to see if you can get there before too much carnage has taken place. So you're going to need to get 5 successes on this. Hannes, you were sort of leading the way, I think.
I was indeed. I'm wondering whether to summon my beast or not to give him sufficient motivation, but I could end very badly. But so I think I should in that bit. So I think I've had quite a lot of wine and cheese. There's been a lot of wandering around, so I'm getting quite tired. But that's when I hear the inhuman voice of the beast behind us. So the whites of the eyes in the guardsman's face says, "Don't worry, he's here for me." There's the blood's curdling, screaming. I imagine the guard's somewhat unconvinced. So yeah, I'm going to use the chasing of the beast behind me, slavering for my flesh as a motivator to run faster and longer.
Excellent. I'm sure that won't have any consequences further down the line, like it always does anymore. Yeah. Okay, yes, you're starting with 3 successes.
Yeah. And what was it, hard? So I need to get up to 6. Did you say? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's 5. It's medium, so you need to get 5.
Yeah. So ideally, I want to get 6 for no. Yes. Okay, let's spend 2 summer. Can't take it with me, and then I'm going to have to roll a die anyway to get more. So I'll roll 2 dice to try and get the extra benefit. I'd get a 1, so that's a fail.
So I think failure, you're going to get there a little late, and I think probably the beast is going to just to make you feel the summoning of the beast. I think the guard is going to not be quite as fast needed to be.
Oh no!
As your beast, you rush forwards. The beast's howls go a little distant as you turn a corner in the tunnel, and you look around, and the guard is nowhere to be seen.
Because I'll be going like, last without pasting, Jacques. Jacques? Jacques?
There's just a scream from somewhere behind as you turn a corner in the tunnel and obviously go out of sight of the beast and do that.
Oh.
And you, as Babai, will no doubt judge you for that.
Amez is a force of nature. God alone can judge him.
And you appear in the village. There is a scene of carnage here. A wolf pack is running amok, and the guards are making the best they can to protect the villagers. Many are locked inside houses with wolves pawing at the door, which is working to some extent. Sorry, I should say that the track emerges in the well by the cemetery where you were. You can climb back up, and you can see clearly the wolves have run into the village from there. The village is under attack by this pack. Also evident is Greskar, the big bad wolf who is leading them, is also as you arrive, because it was a failure, wasn't it? You're just in time to see Vincent torn to shreds by this wolf the size of a horse, and his lifeless parts of his body are thrown back over at you as the blood curdling cry erupts. You just have time to scan the area in this huge sort of melee of the village to see a flash of red dashing off in the direction of the palace, which you would surmise to be the little girl. So you emerge on the scene. You've got the villagers under attack by this wolf pack, which will surely be fallen to pieces unless you intervene. But also the girl has gone off towards the palace, presumably to see her mother.
So I'm stood there genuinely torn. Which way to go? Amez, I am torn. These people are innocent. Elisabetta probably isn't.
And there's like a little twinkle in my eye for a change. And there's been so many cases, so many trips and journeys we've had where someone else has had to make the correct decision or be judged. So I'm going to flip it on its head and just sort of like sit back and enjoy some wine and say, yes, you are torn, but you must make a decision. And don't worry, I won't judge you if you make the wrong one. And the little smile plays across my face.
And I'll shoot him a venomous glare. I will save the innocent. The guilty can stand for themselves. And I'm going to start to weigh in on the wolves.
Yeah, very well. With the decision made, I shall leap up and draw my weapon.
Okay, so how we're going to do this is really the as you sort of leap in as creatures of the occult. The big bad wolf is going to be the one who's going to turn to fight you while his pack ravage through the village. Maybe if you can defeat him quickly, you'll have time to resolve the issue with Iskra and Elisabetta as well. But he is a main NPC, so he can take 3 wounds. And we're going to go into the combat as this huge wolf spins round to turn to face you. I think you can have the first action, Hammers, because you were the first to draw your sword and leap into. So are you going to attack this? This is medium difficulty to attack the big bad wolf.
Yeah. So I think actually I'll start out to get his attention. The first thing I'll do is find my my pistol. I have a dueling pistol, so there'll be the huge retort of the black powder weapon to bring it to me, basically. And so medium difficulties. Is it 5?
You need 5.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. I'm not surprised by beasts nor intimidated by them. So I'll start on 3. So I think I need to roll. Let's roll 4d6 and see what happens, I guess. Success.
Indeed, that works. Is that with an additional
extra increment?
well? Okay, so you're going to inflict a wound on this wolf. I think probably with that you were firing to get its attention, weren't you?
Mm.
I think you maybe hit it as well. This is a vast thing. As it leaps forward, you see it is winged. It has taken a wound. As you see the flash of blood and a bit of wild, for the first time, a bit of fear in its eyes as it pounds towards you. It is entirely fixated on you as it moves to pound towards you, paying no notice of Babai in the shadows. Babai, if you want to face it, you can get one additional success automatically.
Yes, thank you. I'll draw the sword quickly from out of the cane, and I've got the sword in one hand and the heavy shod cane in the other. And whilst I am a crude swordsman next to Hammers, I've still been classically trained. I'm going to take advantage of the fact it's looking the other way and run the beast through.
Right, so you're starting on 4 successes. If it works, you need 5 to get it with.
Yeah,
consequence, or 6 or 7 if you.
I'm going to roll. I'm going to drop 2 points of Soma in and roll 1 dice. Have it as a resource, may as well spend it. And there's a 3, so all good.
Amazing, a success with increment there. So yeah, you wade into it and do it. In terms of your wound, I think maybe we can add a battered to it. That makes sense as you lay into it with your cane and sword. Your classical training is less effective against a beast this size.
Yes,
but it does mean, because it's it spins round, and soon between the two of you, it's rolling round in a sort of circle.
Yeah, it's difficult to do in Padre's fourth riposte on a claw.
It is difficult. Yeah. But it is going to reach out at you with its claws and try and wound you. You need to make me a defense roll, both of you, I'm afraid. You're going to get an extra success to this because of the judge's increment that you got on your success. So you're going to be starting, assuming you've got a relevant descriptor to use to defend this, at 4. But you're going to need to get 5 or 6 to succeed without cost to defend against it.
Yes. Yeah, my body is made of pure shadow, and I can become intangible for brief moments, such as when the claw strikes.
Time it right.
Yeah. All right.
I've learned to face monsters and aberrations, so that's fine.
So that's me starting on 4, and you say we need 5 or 6 if we want the increments.
Yeah, no, you need 5. You need 6 if you want to succeed properly. 7 if you want an increment.
Right, I'm going for an increment. 3 dice. Go big or go home. Hey, no ones.
Amazing. Was that your roll, Gaz, as well for the swordsman?
Yes, I've just got a regular success. No increment.
Okay, so somehow, whether by going intangible for a brief moment or just ducking out of the way and avoiding being hit by a beast, like you have done many times, as the wolf is frustrated, and you have a chance to press the advantage. Did either of you get an increment on that?
I did.
So, Babai, if you want to act now, this is the final wound. You can act with that increment. It'll give you an extra success on your attack. Again, you need 5 to take it.
Sure, I will do that then. I don't really actually. You know what? I don't really have a descriptor. Can I harry it towards James to let the swordsman do what the swordsman does and hand in my success?
You can hand in the success. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm basically swinging my my cane at its snout to infuriate it more while James positions himself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been waving my sword, but what I've done secretly is attached my silver cheese knife to my attachment of a missing. And that will, as we all know, damage werewolves much more. So as it dips into my sword, I try and drive the silver blade into it. So I need to get a 5. I'm starting on 4. Okay, I'll spend my last 2 Soma to make sure that lands home properly.
Okay, do you want to? He's going to defeat the wolf. Do you want to just describe what this looks like with a final blow that takes?
It's I'm in danger of losing my good hand as I'm trying to fend it off. But in the end, as it opens its jaws at its widest, I actually reach down its throat and stab its heart with my silver blade, which causes it to just deflate like an emptied bag of water or something, like a pop balloon.
Yeah, and there is a soft murmur of a howl, and the remaining wolves begin to pad back and slink off with their leader gone. You have made short work of the big bad wolf. You can rush now to the palace.
Yes.
Find your...
And as we are rushing, can I call for an interlude scene? Even though this is
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I think cinematically, this is as you're rushing, it goes into sort of slow motion, and we see you pause and look around. Part of your mission is over, but there seems to be a little bit remaining to do.
Yes, I think it happens sort of conversationally because I'm much more athletic, and so when I run up a flight of stairs or bounding up some boulders, there's then me sort of like leaning on one side, waiting for Bard to catch up with me, and there's like various bits of the story go as I go, and I say, "Do you not recall, my good friend, when we were in Valinia, and it was the choice between the innocents, so defeating the monster, and as always, I was blinded by that monster." And the innocents suffered because of it. I'm glad you've remembered that and stuck to your principles. I didn't know whether you would or not, but given the choice here in the village, you've shown me once again that defending the incidents is the right choice. And of course, we will have time. Here, let me help you up. I know it takes you longer to get there, but we'll have time, our faith. We did the right thing, and I'm glad your judgment held true.
Yeah. And like every time you pause, you're like too far ahead of me and I'm slightly out of breath, so I can't actually say anything. And I end up just stood next to you, slightly out of breath, nodding.
Yeah. Just as you're about to get your breath back and say something, that's when I head off again up the next part of
Yeah.
the...
Yeah.
And I shall roll my eyes and carry on.
Amazing. So you get 2 soma or a wound back as you have that brief interlude of a one-sided conversation takes place. And we will smash cut to the palace. This scene is taking place. Let's have it back in the dining room where it first began. And you sort of barge in and you see Elizabetha is lying on one side of the room in front of the fireplace where she was stood pouring the wine before. Injured. There's red blood pouring out of her leg. And the other side of the room, padding, is a young girl in a red hood, red boots, and a crude wooden mask, carved now, you realise, with the same stylized hand as you saw on the pendant. And there's a, please just spare me. What would you do for me? Just let me go. Why do you have this so much hate? And you can see that Iskra, the girl, is just toying with her. She steps forward and prods at the wound and then runs back as she screams in pain. Looks like, unless you take action, Iskra is going to slowly kill her mother. What is your approach? I think maybe we turn first to the judge.
I'm just going to stride and stand between the two, my 2 hands resting on the cane. Normally, children make me uncomfortable with their innocence, but this one is no innocent. And I'm going to stare at her. And dangling from one of my hands is that discarded necklace, or perhaps lost coming through the tunnel. Who knows? I'm just going to regard her with a silent stare and then say, "What did she do, child? Speak your case so that she may be judged."
Sent me to my grandmother's. Let me get lost in the forest. Abandoned me. I would have died, but for Greska, the great wolf, befriended me, helped me plan my revenge. And she looks down to the pendant that you're carrying. Where did you find that?
In the well. Lost or discarded?
And Elizabeth said, I must have lost it. It must have fallen off by accident.
And I'll crack.
I made that
my,
for you, mother.
Yeah, I'll say. When Elizabeth speaks, I'll crack my cane on the floor. Silence. Your time to speak will come. Go on, child.
I made it for her. See if she would recognise. We travelled all the way from Valinia through the woods. Resco and his pack was not easy. Now it is worth it, as I shall have my revenge.
Revenge is not justice, child. And I'll wheel round to Elizabetha. And what do you say for yourself? Giving up a child for a comfortable marriage bed?
I merely sent her away to her grandmother's. I couldn't have known she'd get lost in the forest.
You couldn't have known a child would get lost in a forest alone. What kind of mother are you?
I was young. I wasn't ready for this. Please, spare me. I'm a respectable woman.
Respectable. There are orphanage churches you could have turned to either. Instead, you sent your child to die.
I sent her to her grandmother's house in the woods.
Do I think she's telling the truth, or do I think she's liar, pants on fire?
Well, you have you can probably judge this, can't you? With your
I'm very
sense
good at
of
grasping
judging.
hidden details. Yeah.
Let's make this an easy roll because I think you've done a good sort of interrogation of the two of them, and let's see if you can unearth the truth of the matter to allow you to pass judgment.
Sure.
So it's going to be difficulty 3.
I'm going to bang 2 Soma on it, so I get the increment.
And at that, we do get a flashback, and there is indeed the grandmother's house. You see an apparition of a grandmother searching the forest, trying to find Iskra. You should be here by now. You should be here by now. And then falling in a glade and taken ill. You sense that presence is still here and has been sending you messages through the woods. But she did send her off to her grandmother's house. Did get lost in the woods, and only the wolf's friendship has led her to be. So what is your judgment, Judge? Speaks Elizabetha, as Iskra looks ready to pounce and finish her off once and for all.
I'm going to turn back to Iskra and say, vengeance is not justice. If you kill her now, you will become as much a criminal as she is. What she did was a crime. She will find herself judged in front of the courts of both man and God for it. You have a grandmother who misses you somewhere. Wouldn't you rather be her granddaughter rather than her shame?
It sounds a convincing argument. I think we need to let the dice decide this.
As
Iskra makes to pounce and finish off Elizabetha once and for all. Redemption or tragedy. I'm going to make this medium, so we need 5 successes.
All right. So I'm pretty intimidating, but that specifically doesn't apply to children. So I don't. So I'm going to throw my last 2 Soma into it, and 3 dice. I know that will give me a success with a cost, but I'm happy to pay a cost. And I got a 1. I am not as convincing as I wanted to be.
Yeah, it is not enough to do it. As you're speaking, that I think the moment of doubt comes into your voice as you are not good with children, Brian.
Yeah,
I think as she thinks, and as maybe Iskra takes the mask down as she ponders, you realise she is a child, and you suddenly realise you have no power over them. Yeah. And as you speak, the mask goes back on, and there's a flash of red and a cry of pain as you see Elizabetha breathes her last. And you're just able to catch a glimpse of Iskra running off back into the woods. You have you've dealt with the wolf pack for now. I'm not sure if we call it a successful mission. Little Red Riding Hood Iskra is still at large. Elizabetha, the Lord's wife, lies dead, but some sort of peace has come to the haunting of the village. I think there's probably a quite muted end to this, and as the funeral is taking place, this is obviously the end of our adventure. Let's just have a little vignette of what happens to our protagonists as they maybe stay, help clear and tidy things up away in this village. Maybe James first, as the judge has taken most of the spotlight to resolve this.
Yeah.
As the village sort of returns back to normality, there are no wolves in the forest anymore. Iskra has taken them away with her. What do we see James trying to heal the wounds of the
Nothing. He does nothing to heal their wounds. I think off screen, while that scene was taking place, in the secret way into the palace, was the bandit leader we met in the woods who'd come to speak to his lover and saw her killed. And it's there that it's probably in the kitchen somewhere with some of the cheaper wine and food that they're mumbling between themselves about lost loves and things like that. Because one of the core motivators for James was always like finding that boy who led him astray and trapped him with the beast. And given the judge's great speech, he was thinking, yeah, perhaps revenge is wrong. Perhaps I've wasted my life. And then he saw what happened. And then he was like, no, we can't let kids running around with supernatural powers. This is the obvious consequence. And he's now talking about redoubling his efforts to find the boy who betrayed him those years ago and take his vengeance. Vengeance is the only way, not justice.
Amazing. A happy ending. And bye-bye, the judge. What do we see of you in this aftermath of this?
This is a few days later after Elizabetha's funeral, and in that same graveyard we saw earlier, as the wind whips through, whipping the cape around the judge, he's staring intently at the gravestone, marking every detail, carving it into his memory as an example of a time when he failed to bring justice. Doesn't say anything, just stares for an uncomfortably long time, and then just before leaving, we see his gloved hand lay the pendant on top of the gravestone, and he turns one rap of the cane on the stone, then walks off.
Amazing, and we'll leave it there. Thanks to my players for playing through Broken Tales, and thanks to you for watching and following along. There are loads of these twisted fairy tales in Broken Tales. The core book comes with a real selection of them, so do let us know if you'd like to see further investigations of the swordsman and the judge through Europe, and see if they can maybe be more properly successful next time at resolving the issues of it without bringing tragedy to the house. As always, it's great if you like the channel. Please talk about it, share the word, like and subscribe. It all helps with the algorithm getting the word out there. If there's another game you'd like to see us play on the channel, do let us know in the comments below or get in touch, and we'll happy to respond to anything like that. There'll be many, many more games where this came from. So check out Broken Tales, check out the other videos on the channel, and we'll see you very soon for more on Unconventional GMs.